I think that we need to have a serious conversation as Black Americans about if we're ready for the conversation of global blackness, because we don't have the market cornered on oppression. We may lead globally in trends, aesthetic, music, fashion, stuff like that. All that's well and good. But oppression, identity, we can't tell people how to identify. We can't tell a person what color means just because it means something different over here. If you haven't figured this out by now, colonization is a playbook. Okay? They saw niggas and they subjected niggas. Globally. Okay? So, I'm going to tell you this. If you think you so different from a Jamaican, if a Jamaican thinks they so different from a nigga from Arkansas, if a nigga from Arkansas thinks you so different from a person in the UK, get in a time machine, all three of you, and go have a seat in front of George Washington, and let's see what he has to say about you. Go take your wife with you, too, and see if Thomas Jefferson is around. Guys, and this is to Black Americans specifically, we have to be careful about thinking that we're like the CEOs of blackness. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take yourself out of the conversation about being the global majority. And we're like self-ostracizing, right? Now, I'm not taking away from anything that's been said about us or negativity that people say to us all the time. What I'm saying is, if we are going to be the leaders and we want to be the thought leaders, let's be thought leaders with facts. Let's do some history and let's do some comparing and contrasting and seeing how similar the experiences are. You know, a person from Mississippi and a person from Chicago may not express things the same way, but they're saying the same things. Same thing can be said about anybody throughout the diaspora. And, you know, we don't need to be cornering the market on like cultural expressions. Because when you really think about it, all of these aesthetics, cultural expression, slang, ways of talking are existent amongst Black people globally. The way that they exist in differences amongst Black people nationally. We may express ourselves in different ways. We may use different accents. We may have different ways of expressing ourselves in fashion, but it comes from the same tree. And when we start looking at ourselves as the global majority, which is what colonizers don't want, because that's the thing. We may be 12% to 13% in this country. But start having a conversation about what you look like globally. Start breaking those numbers down. Start looking at that percentage. And then stop with all the, like, I don't understand how you have an enemy sitting right there and you choose to look in the mirror and fight that person. You're fighting the mirror. And every time you choose to fix your eyes on your enemy, he's like, look back in the mirror. Look at yourself. Hate yourself. Hate people that look like you. Talk about insignificant differences that don't really mean a fucking hill of beans. Let's talk about culinary dishes and where they started and who started it. Let's talk about Nike Techs and who popularized that. And let's not talk about the reason why you live in the UK. What was your family trying to get away from? Let's talk about why you're in Jamaica in the first place. I don't like this conversation that is perpetual. Like, why don't we ever have some? What is the fear? Is the fear being a victim? Is it easier to fight with Black people because you don't feel like a victim when you talk to Black people? Because there's no history of oppression amongst us that we've done to each other historically to put us in the positions that we are in today? Is that just a more comfortable thing? Is it more comfortable to fight people that look like you, that have been through the same things as you? Because there's no real change in that? It's just comfortable? Are you that scared of them motherfuckers? We can't just use them as like a scapegoat when it's time to like talk. We really have to have a real conversation about why we're in the positions we're in as Black people globally. What colonization is, what the playbook is, and how it's warped the minds of Black people. How does a light-skinned person feel like a victim? And why does the idea of them being light-skinned exist in the first place? What is that part? Where is the idea that I'm a nigga, but I'm the better nigga? why does that exist? Okay? And then, like, you're not asking enough questions. Just keep saying why. That's how you get to the root of things. That's how children learn. Okay? Children will ask why, because they really want to understand. And if you keep asking why, you're going to get to the bottom of things. Stop with the who, the what, and the when, and start asking why. And read a book.